works out the way I think it works out. Or do I have to put the encoder in every time? No, I don't. Beautiful. So we should be off and running, mate.
Well, I always like to get it up on the duel so I can see.
Well, you'll be able to see your team when I do this. You'll
Exactly.
be able
That's why I like it.
Well, we're just gonna. I'll just put the chat up here, so if there's a little bit of chit chat, we can have a chit chat. Did I change the title? Come on.
You said you have episode 3.
Beautiful.
It's just you and I that.
Yeah, that's for now. We'll go keep the suspense. Come on now. Oh, what have I done?
You see? Seems a lovely place. So it's a bit of cheek there.
Shit.
But,
oh, yeah. Oh, beautiful. Oh, well, we're off and running. Welcome to the round table. Stable. Round stable. Sorry, mate. A bit dusty.
That's good, mate. It's a belter. You'll remember that one.
We are literally 2
days.
Don't
forget it.
No, we're literally 2 days out. So we've scrapped the weekly schedule that we will be doing. But we thought we'd just do a special team reveal. Double team reveal.
Look, it's due. I mean, we probably, one of us probably should have done it yesterday for ourselves, but obviously shit happens. So today's the day. And like you said, 2 days out. No better time. And that snuck up on me, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. I don't know why. I just thought I had a few more days in the bank. And like one of the mates said to me, AFL's back Thursday. And I was like, that's 2 days away. And then I started to obviously get a bit of news, hear a few ins and outs, and jump back onto the team today and change a couple of stuff. And I think I'm settled for now. But there, like we spoke about on the phone, there's a few little tactics that can happen after opening round. That's for sure.
Well, that's the funny thing is we can still make changes in the opening round. We see after teams.
I almost think that a lot of people don't know that because like. You can use this to your advantage so well. Like if you're almost better off having a lot of players that are overpriced, so to speak. And then if they have a bad game that doesn't work out for you, you can just change it because you know that you can get them on a cheaper because that first game is going to count for them. So, like for example, Bond. But anyway, we'll go through it when we go through our teams.
Also, like we talked about, as soon as Sherry or Bond drop, if they drop a 60, everyone's just going to jump off. You get a free jump off and wait for the downgrade. So I don't like it that it happens this way, but last year, last year I didn't know until it happened. So you're right. People probably don't know.
No, I don't think they know. But I thought in our comp that we were just straight in off the rip.
Opening round, you can't. It's just impossible. Like the earliest you can start a league. So total points you can. Total points leagues can be off rip.
We didn't do that.
Head-to-heads, you cannot start because the trades aren't locked. Which I don't find. How do you do total points on open round if you can just trade in? Surely you can't then.
No, there's nothing. So opening round is like literally a free hit for everybody.
Yeah.
So you could use it to your advantage and put players in that you think that potentially, or just structure a team and then see what they score, and then have a look at the 3-round average, and that's really going to give you a massive leg up if you're trying to target certain players.
Well, that's it. You wouldn't think anything's going to change until by Thursday, but it might. But anyway, we're still going to do a team
review. You never know. Unless there's a fresh injury that comes out tomorrow morning or, something late, a bit of late mail and they don't want to tell you. Well, for example, I don't have these two players on my side, but, Hal and Moore have been ruled out for opening round. So that opens who's going to play in defence for Collingwood? I don't know. Is Dacos now going to play defence? I don't know.
It's funny. We'll get to it. Well, we may as well, because I was about to jump into a bit of that, but we'll get into our defenders. Better. We got to start with defenders, right? Defenders down.
Yeah, top down, mate.
Top down. So we'll keep the horsey, but we'll get rid of the dents. Get the chat back up.
I'll see what you've come up with, mate. Let's see what the.
So, do we want to just put both our defenses up from start? May as well, then we'll chat through them.
Yeah, put them up.
So we got.
Put them up.
These are both our top sixes, right? So if we have a look, we've both got Jack Sinclair, D1, both got Connor Rozee, D2. I just seen your sneaky D3. This is news to me.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk me through that one?
Yeah, I'm going to. So he played his last he played a full. I'm pretty sure he didn't play the full game against Port, but in his first quarter against Port on the weekend, he got 14 disposals, and I'm just like,
I did hear about it.
That's very good. And I just think McCarthy at 504,000 with that potential, and particularly his run, like their run, they don't have a bye for a long time, West Coast. So a lot of these teams that have the opening round bye don't have a bye for a long, long time. So he's going to get clear run at it, and barring injury, he's probably going to play in the midfield with Reed and a few others. And he's just really probably one of their best midfielders, to be honest about it. So I'm about it. I like Josh, and I think Josh is going to be good. Don't get me wrong, and I still want him in my team to some capacity. But the reason I have him out at the moment was to facilitate some other trades to get in, which we will go further down. I've noticed that you've jumped off your boy Coleman, which is really, really surprising me. I know Windsor. I had Windsor in very early, but then I didn't like his first sim. I wasn't a big fan of it, but then he is going to be playing midfield minutes pretty much all year. When you play midfield minutes, the likelihood of that is you're probably going to get a few touches and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good pick, but I just didn't think you'd jump off Coleman for that.
Well, we'll go to that shortly, but I'll touch on Josh Dacos. Funny you just jumped off him because for the first time in the last 3 days, I've got shaky feet. I don't know. I'm just like, could I do another option? Is there another option there? He's still made
at his value. It's really tough because at that value at 525, the only other option really is McCarthy, and so he's really good value. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because it's my own player and I'm pessimistic about it, and I really don't know how good he's going to go in the midfield. But I should be more excited because, like I said to you, like in the video I made, Nick's going to get all the tag. He is, unless someone's going to tag Josh. He should get a lot of ball. So the game against North Melbourne on the weekend, he got 29 touches. I mean, I don't think he was busting his gut. So
no,
it's still a good pick, I feel.
Yeah, the male is Collingwood were not even going gangbusters. Yeah, they weren't even going gangbusters, and the ones that were in there, they were cruising about. But yeah, it is funny. Just I tossed up going down to Roberts off him. It's just, but I'm going to hold because what's funny is he's one of the people we get a free hit. He's in opening round.
Yeah.
So the dangerous ones. So we'll skip over Lawson for a moment. Windsor is a dangerous one because you don't get the free look. He's round one.
No.
So if you want Windsor, this is where I was at. If you want Windsor, but then again, you could just Coleman. You do get the free hit. So you get so you could hold Coleman for
I get to see Coleman, and if Coleman doesn't work out, I can go to Windsor.
Yeah, you can go to because there's 50k, but if you really want to, you can make 50 somewhere.
I can wiggle that out. I mean, there is further options down when we see where I could probably wiggle that around because there's other players that are playing that round. I want to talk about your Humphreys. That's a very, very smoky pick. I'm about it. I like it. I just wasn't. I mean, you and I are very much on the smoky defender route. Like I've got Roberts, you've got Humphreys. Doesn't seem to be very popular picks in the community. These two. I had Roberts all last year. He very rarely let me down. And then that pracky he had, where he scored like 110 and I think he got 29 disposals, who's pretty much Essendon's best player, definitely didn't hurt his chances in my side, that's for sure. But Humphreys is a good pick, and I think he's going to be better than what he was last year. And that Origin game, he was good. And then in their pracky match against Carlton, I think it was Carlton, even though they lost, he was still pretty decent.
He did what he had to. He's got his 80. See, I can get why Humphreys is a smoky. I don't know why Roberts is still a smoky. I don't know why he's not at 40%. I know he's at 450, but I feel like he is the jumper in defense. So, which is funny.
He's more reliable right now, and I made that video weeks ago, and I'm still consistent on it. He's more reliable right now than McKercher. McKercher has not played a game, has not played a pracky, right? So he's got to get his fitness back and that timing, the rhythm, and all that sort of stuff. So that's going to take a few weeks. So you can wait on McKercher. I'm not saying he's not going to get 100, points, or he has the potential to get 30 disposals. He probably could.
And he's a free look as well.
He is a free look. So, no, he's not. North don't play opening round.
Oh, do they not?
Nah.
I thought they did. This is my whole thesis of I'm jumping ahead half. This is my whole thesis why I still have Sherry. I could have sworn.
Nah, I don't think they do. I don't think they do, bro. Because I'm pretty sure that's why
We're just going to do a live check because this is rattled me. This has sent me to the cleaners off. You're correct. So there's no free look at Sherry. We'll touch on that later.
Yeah, because you got to remember, this is why those teams in particular are very. A lot of people in the community have players from Adelaide, Essendon, Freo, Melbourne, North Port. This is the reason why they have them, because they don't have buys until like round 11, round 12, or when the next buys come. So you get once you get opening round out the way and you're round 1, you could pretty much lock those players in. They don't have buys, and particularly players that I'm not going for it, but I'm just saying, like Gorn, like he's number 1 from now to round 13. So the big one there, though, and I tried to do this, is for me it was Freo and Essendon, because they have a lot of good players. If you can somehow flick in a Sarong or flick in a Jackson or flick in a Merritt or something like that, I feel like that's going to give you a lot of addition, because that first 3 rounds where it's like all the rest of the teams are having to buys, like the Dogs, the Swans, Lions, Collingwood, all those primo midfielders. If you can get some of those midfielders in your squad, you're probably going to win most games because it's the top 18, right? So yeah, I haven't got a lot of them in. I've still got obviously a couple players from the Swans and that, and the Doggies, but it's a tactic, and if you want to do it, you can. But yeah, so if that's thrown it up in the air for you, you're probably going to jump.
Yeah, well, yes, that gets real interesting. I still get my free look at Grundy, which is there, but like I said, that's Rucks. We'll get to that when we get to Rucks. But on Humphreys again, it's funny, right? Because I've been hot because I think Scott's going to give him the keys to the distribution role.
I think it already has happened, man. The
only issue I learned last night today, that Buckley is the assistant coach, but he's more the defensive coach. And he's always said he's a defensive-minded coach in general. So that worries me if he's in charge of the back 6. He doesn't want you really taking off. And I want Humphreys.
I don't know. I wouldn't be too worried.
Not really having defense role.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't be too worried. Like, you got to remember when we had Buckley, Quaynor, Johnny Noble. They were the rebounding halfbacks for us under Buckley, and Johnny Noble used to get a lot of touches.
Both of those men under Buckley were still much more accountable than, say, a Zorko.
Oh, for sure.
So he will hold Humphreys to more account than, say, a Zorko or Whitfield. Like Buckley will expect him to do, and you're probably talking, if I want to get like maybe a 20-point difference, so maybe Humphreys can't get 150s where Zorko's, Whitfield, Ashes can. But
look, I agree with that.
Yeah, but he can still get it. And going to Coleman, I don't think you can go wrong with Coleman. I think it's going to be a good pick. I just really wanted Windsor, and people are like, oh, he was half back, he got the roll back. Zorko didn't play. Why is no one? Zorko is 36-year-old Fagan. When you got no reason playing a pracky. You'll be in next week. All goods. So yes, Coleman played halfback, but no one's mentioned that. Like, oh, he got the roll back because Zorko didn't play. What are we doing? Let's get through the facts. Like, so who knows where he is?
You know more than anybody. Yeah. Look, I don't know where he is. If he's at half forward, I don't like it. But he's so clean around the ball, and
he's not going to lose money. He's not going to lose money.
No, I don't. So. Yes, that's the thing. At 233, look, you can't go wrong at that price. But Windsor's a good shout. Windsor's a good pick. I think if you're going to jump either side, and it's funny, I've been looking at that for the last couple of days. So if you are going to jump either side, he's definitely the player to do it. And then we both have the same D6.
Which sausages on the grill, mate.
Yeah, I think it's probably everybody's pick, right?
Should be everyone's D6, I would imagine.
I think our bench, some of those players could probably come in.
Sarong.
And I can understand it.
Sarong on the bench, yeah.
I've got Sarong and Lindsay. A lot of people have Dirksen, but Dirksen didn't make the squad.
No.
So
that's big news.
So that's basically, don't have.
I believe I'm wrong in Jack Wes at the moment.
I did have Jack Les, but I jumped off. I saw Lindsay have a decent enough game, so I thought I'll go back. And it's just West Coast, so I think West Coast they're probably going to give him a bit more.
And appreciate,
you know
what I mean?
The dogs are tough. The dogs are tough. They have so many young players, and it's Bevo, and if he gets the shits with a player, man, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Appreciate the kind words on our defenses there, Reese. Before we move on to our mids, we skipped over it really quick. Do we just want to touch on the two, D1 and D2? Are they just hard locks? Especially D2. Rosie, I feel like almost majority of the league are looking to start Rosie.
I think everyone's got Rosie, particularly because of his run. And he is so good off the halfback. If you look at the last bracket they played, it was Butters and Rosie, which is what everybody is going to think for the top point scorers in their team. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that everybody's going to have Rosie in their side because just at 568 as well. It's really good price.
It's right there.
Sinclair's different. You and I have been on the Sinclair train so early because people don't realise how good Jack Sinclair is. And particularly because Nas is going to the midfield. That's why you and I have been all over it. And then he goes and has a typical Sinclair game and gets 39 touches. And I haven't checked his percentage owned. In fact, I probably can't get it up now.
We've probably survived because Naz went just as bonkers. So if he did that and Naz didn't go bonkers, yeah, Sinclair would have exploded. But because I keep hearing people say, man, I really want to try to get Sinclair in, you have to give up Naz. Yeah. Give up Naz.
You do.
If you want Sinclair, give up Naz. No. So he's probably risen a bit, but Naz went gangbusters as well.
Naz did go gangbusters. But that's the thing. You and I have both spoken about. He's at 13%, so he's gone up a little bit.
Touch, yeah.
I tell you, Whitfield's dropped down, but there's a good reason for that. I didn't like Whitfield in that
passing the torch.
What they were doing. Yeah, like Ash got 28 or 29, and Whitfield got 15. So like, still going to be class around the ball, but I think he's going to be more of like a. Not saying he's at this stage of his career, but what I'm trying to say is I think he's going to be more like Pendlebury, where like it's 100% efficiency, but it's maybe 15, 20 touches instead of those 25 to 30 touch games.
Yeah, I think the 180s are behind Whit. Well, that's our defenses there. There's a couple of late surprises on both ends there. Well, very interesting.
For sure. We'll see how McCarthy goes. Like, I mean, I don't get a free hit at it, so it's in. But
yeah,
I'm confident.
Oh well, let's load up the mids. Let's go to the mids.
Mids are interesting. They're going to be so different.
Here we go back.
Your Reese, loving the defense, mate. What have you got in your defense, mate? If you're still watching, pop it in.
So there's the defense. As we can tell straight away, you are still on the big dog himself, the Bond. We both have the Butters, who is my M1. And you have made the switch. It's funny, we've swapped. I was red hot on Heaney at the start, went to Gordon. You were Gordon. You've gone to the Heen dog. Tell me about why you've switched to the Heen dog.
We still got the defense up on the page at the moment, mate. If we could.
You're probably loading up. You're probably on a lag, are we?
Yeah. Oh, for sure I am. Yeah. Oh, I need to check. There we go. Yeah, I can see it. That's my bad. Yeah. I'll explain. Yeah. So why did I go Heaney?
Sorry, I got to skip forward. Your fucking fourth is my absolute smoky up me sleeve. You bastard. Anyway, we'll leave that for the moment. Anyway, continue.
Oh, mate, you got to be over.
Unreal footballer. Just had a tough time of it. We'll get to him though. Tell me about the Heen dog.
And his pracky was good. All right, we'll go on the Heen dog. So I was Goulden, and I'm still really not comfortable on this. I'll be honest, because I think Goulden's a ripper. But that little ankle niggle just threw me out a little bit, enough to just want to try Heaney. And like I said, we get the free hit because they're playing round one or opening round.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, if Heaney is so far up the ground, like if he's playing that Papley role and it's more damage than it is, let's say, accumulating, and it's just like 15 touches, but he's got 4 goals, maybe I'll jump back to Goulden. But I just wanted to trial Heaney. I think he could have a Brownlow year. He's a real... I think he's due for that type of year. I know he was really good last year at the start, but He's such a pod as well. Not many people have Heaney. And I just wanted to go maybe a little bit more pod route for the three. I know Butters is pretty much everybody's team. Bont's not on everybody's team. But yeah, I wanted to jump Heaney. Free hit. If it doesn't work, I go back to Goulden. No dramas, and I'll save a bit of cash. But yeah, that little niggle from Goulden, apparently he's fine. No issue. But I got a little scared. And that's why I jumped.
He's the best pod in the game by a mile. Heaney is the best pod in the game.
If it works, yeah. Because he can get 180.
The next best is Lugger, but he's more expensive. So Heaney's still under 600. Or give it 1,400 under 600, but he's under 600. Premium pod, can score 180s, can score 200s. I think he's done 200s in his career.
Yeah, he has. And one of them was last year. And one of the players in the young league had him and was the only one that had him at the time.
Yeah. So he is, for me, the biggest pod in the league. We'll leave the smoky up your sleeve. I have gone a bit more of a mid-price mayhem again. Sammy Walsh has made it to my squad. I've talked to you off air. I'm a big fan of Sammy Walsh in general. He just can't get right. But I'm willing to bet on him because if he gets right, in my mind, he's 110 plus mid. In my mind, I know that's bullish.
He is, and I'm in agreement because he is. This is going to sound wild because one of them has 2 Brownlows. But I think talent-wise, Walsh is the best midfielder in that squad. And I know Cripps has the accolades, but I think just talent-wise, it's Walsh. But he can't stay fit, and that's his problem. But I think on the football, every time I watch him, I think he's a gun. So I think he can. I just don't trust the injury history. And he fucking went off in the first quarter, was back. Probably got some injections because he came back and finished the game, which I don't know if it's a good or a bad sign. But I can totally understand the pick. I'm just not willing to go there. But again, we get that look at it.
He's free look. That annoys me, right? Because I'm on him now, right? If he drops 35 and a goal, he won't be a pod anymore. Everyone will take the risk, and it hurts the people that are going to take the risk early. And that's a segue into your LDU pick, but we don't get a free look at him, right? So that's actually
I don't get a free.
We don't get a free look at him.
I don't get a free look at LDU, but I'll tell you why I picked LDU, because last year he was very underwhelming, but he still averaged like 97.
Yeah.
And he didn't have a good year, right? And I just think that I think he's going to be better this year. I think he's going to be back on the form. And then the practice match he played against us, now I know we played kids, but he got 39. He was the leading fantasy scorer on the ground with 145. And I was like, yeah, well, that gives me... Yeah. That gives me confidence. I think that's all right. And he's fucking low percentage. No one has him. No. Because I had Petrarca in that spot, and I like Petrarca, and I think Petrarca's fine. You know what you get with Petrarca, but Petrarca's 45% owned, and I just wanted something different. So that's why I went LDU. But I can understand if people don't want to go, they want to go with Petrarca. But yeah, I think he's a smoker. And to be honest, who's in the North midfield other than Sheasel that's getting the touches?
No, well, his run in
after the opening round.
Yeah,
he's just gonna be playing.
Like I said, I've definitely been thinking. He's been in my thoughts because he's one of these players that in the Supercoach community, and there's a few of these players, right? He's a much better player than a Supercoach always represents. He is a fantastic footballer, but often his Supercoach will be like a 90. But if you watch North and LDU, I've said it a few years. I thought he's got a Brownlow in him. He is that.
He was
good.
On track to if he continued that trajectory. I thought he was on track for that. The problem with him is they don't win enough games.
No.
But then last year he didn't have a good season last year. I don't know if he was carrying a nickel or something like that. But he's definitely got it in him. Reese says he's got Sinclair, Rosie, McKercher, Blackiston, Windsor, and Grill, Lindsay, and Jarquez. But really interested in Humphreys, Roberts, loves LDU as the mid-smoky. Yeah, Blackiston is a good pick. McKercher, look, I don't mind McKercher. I can understand why people why you have him, but I don't like the lack of a preseason. But that's just my opinion, personal opinion.
And did you see so you won't see. He's in my mid bench. We'll get to these our M4 to M8 very shortly. But I have added. Have you seen this Blamaris? they signed late, North Melbourne. I think he ran half back.
I did.
He was red hot.
Yeah, so he was 99,000. I haven't put him in yet because I don't know if he's going, if it's just like he was just there for a game or not. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was watching a vid on TikTok of a North supporter, and they reckon he's in.
Yeah. So he's going to be an issue. There's a few of these late signings.
They are.
Massive late signings.
You got to do your work on him. I want to talk about. So obviously we've both got Parrish, which somehow, some way
he's made it. He's made it.
He's made it. But this next player in the middle, I don't know if you had a look today and tonight.
No, I've seen it.
Yeah. And it's the reason I don't have him, because it's this shit all over again with Hayden Young.
He's too risky.
And he's so risky, and he doesn't get a free hit, so you're locked in. And yeah, he's apparently he went off with a foot complaint. Came back on, apparently took shots, so you would imagine that maybe it's not super serious. I just don't like it. Again, it's a bit of the Goulden thing, but Goulden doesn't have an injury record, whereas Young does. So that's dangerous for me, but I can understand why you've got him, because if he hits his ceiling, that's an incredible pick. I just don't I don't trust it as of yet. I'm willing to wait that 3-round average, you know what I mean? I'm willing to see it out.
It is. So I have a backup plan. My backup plan to Young is Reed. So
that's a great backup.
If Harley Reid does 2 tons in his first 2 games and Young hasn't, or Young's injured, I'm going straight to Reid. So that's my backup plan. Now, other backup plans can rear the head you won't even think of around 350k. There's always some, but Reid has the longevity in my mind where he's going to have the role all year. It's just
the other backup plan is Langford. He's your other one. He's the same price. And so it depends if he starts to have a breakout for Melbourne, but I haven't heard much.
There's a bit of mail that he's out of favour in the mid. So Windsor's taken his mid, right? So
does that mean Langford's back to the wing?
The only thing is, so Steele was on the wing in the pracky, but people were like, was he just playing
wingies?
No, so they're like, were they just doing that to let a few kids run through? But even when they did that, Langford didn't get many of the CBAs. So it was. I think
it's hard, right? Because these prackies, you don't want to look too much into them, but then you would imagine if they're wanting to give, especially Langford, he was touted as being in the middle, because Oliver and Petrarca are gone now. And if they're not even doing that in the preseason, either A, they're super confident in him that he's just going to go straight there, or B, they're passing it on to somebody else. So that is interesting.
Well, also, before we move on, the exact same thing. Did you see that a Supercoach favourite, the superstar, everyone's saviour, Will Brodie, didn't even make the squad for the pracky?
Yeah, I know.
So you got to hop off, don't you? Like I got to hop off. Like it's just he's still there at the moment on my bench. We haven't added the benches in for this exercise.
He's in my bench too, but I'll probably change that for somebody else. Yeah. Because if you're in a pracky and you're on the emergency, it's so funny because in the intra clubs he looked fucking solid, but then I don't know. He obviously, the problem is with Brodie is that he obviously probably just doesn't train well. He probably is just a shit dog in training and thinks he probably is a walk-in. And I reckon he just doesn't put the effort in. And then that's why he doesn't do anything with his career.
Well, apparently another one of these late signings took his spot. It was a 99k Port, and he I think he got a 90 Supercoach score. Why can't I remember that fella's name? It'll come to me. But Port 99k, they signed him and he jumped Brodie. He was doing mid
so that's
CBAs.
Probably, that's probably the swap you want to do.
Yeah.
If you don't have him already, yeah.
Shocking, I can't remember his name, but not in our teams anyway at the moment. We'll sneak forward. Now, you've gone heavy with the Bond and all that, so you're straight to Jagger Smith in your M6, and you've got Carroll and McRae on. I don't mind Carroll, but McRae is a saucy one to be putting on field for me. Are you confident he's playing for the Weagles?
Yeah. So I was off it, and then I saw the game against Port, and I think he's going to play, and I think he's going to do enough, especially at 119, to justify a spot. Like I think he got 20 disposals, man. So like that's going to be good enough. Obviously further down we'll talk about the other one that blew it up, but I didn't have him. He was not in the squad for a long time. I had Sharp, I think in there, and I floated through some other players, but I haven't seen a great deal of Sharp, and even Farrow hasn't been that great either.
Yeah, no,
So,
Farrow's gone for me.
and then that game on the weekend, I know they got smashed, but he had a good crack at it, and I think when you're getting 20 disposals, I think that's enough to keep your spot. So I think he'll be okay. The reason I like Tanner Bruin. I think that's a good pick. I really like that, and I want him in my side. He's probably one of the first ones I want to try get in. I just can't wiggle him in, but that's because I'm too heavy on Bont and stuff like that. But that's a really great pick. I did have Dersma for a while, but the thing is, in order to get like LDU, I have to give up somewhere, and so like I've got 4 primos basically. Well, LDU's not a primo, but like I think he has the potential to be. Whereas you have 3, so that trade-off means that you can get another sort of mid-pricer that's good, like with Tanner Bruin, whereas I can't. So I've got to go low with your Jagger and your Carroll and stuff like that. So that's probably why I've had to do the 119 baseline. But again, I get the free look at Bont. So if it doesn't go well, I can, and if Walsh has 35 touches, then I'll probably swap that out, and maybe I can wheel in. Maybe I can wiggle in Reed or something like that. So that's the basis for my midfield. But I like that pick, and not many people are on Tanner Bruin.
Well, so the biggest. So I knew he's coming back, and if people that play Supercoach know Tanner Bruin, we were all pretty hot on him for a period last year. I wasn't too hot on him 2 weeks ago. He's coming back. He's probably going to get a bit of mid blub. I was like, yeah, okay, yeah. But then he was floating around. He was floating around half back. They were floating around half back. He was getting CBAs every now and then. One thing, he's a tackler. So tacklers, they rake points as well. So he doesn't mind a tackle. It's a bit of a rough nut. But what sold me is the price. I did not know he was 270. I was like, okay, well that's on skis for me. Tanner Bruin. He's worth more than that. Even when I wasn't hot on him, I was still thinking he was like 380.
I think he's a 350, 350.
He should be 350.
That's what he should be.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you're getting into the 2s, that's a real sneak. But yeah, I'd love to get him in, and maybe if the first round is dreadful to me, then maybe I can get it, because like you said, we're talking about this before. If Bond drops a 60,
the moves have to be made.
Probably won't. Moves have to be made because his 3-round average is going to drop so much that he's going to drop below 700 by a drastic amount that you will probably be able to get him. So that could happen, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I like that pick. That's a good pick. And Dersma, I was on Dersma, but I had to jump off just because I've got to have that.
I'm still not sold on him. I'll tell you, I'm struggling to find sure thing lower price mids.
They're hard because that's the reason why they're lower price.
Yeah,
because they're not sure things. The only reason why Jagger Smith is so sure is because he's not really a rookie, is he? Because he's got that year behind him.
It's a funny year because I think there's so many sure thing defenders, and I actually think there's a lot of so many sure thing rookie forwards this year too, which is normally where you're struggling to fill out the bench in your forwards. Whereas this year, you thin out in the mids real quick, and he's playing. Like, I do not have to worry about Dersman's play. He is playing. Like, he will be playing.
That's the thing with West Coast. That's why I like the McRae pick so far, because even if he's rotating off the bench, I still think he's gonna play, and that's what I'm confident in. And Dersma will play for sure. That's a fact.
Adam Baldacchino coming in. He's red hot on your boy you used to be on, the old Jordan Clark, saying he's going to get more kick-ins than he's ever had in his life. He's probably not wrong.
Well, look, I did see that. So, like, I had Jordan Clark all last year, and he didn't let me down. He's just a little high price for me at the defense at the moment. Like, he's 560, and I can't wiggle that in at the moment. There is a way. Like, I had a squad where I had him in, and I had Bontempelli, and I had Sherry. So there is a way I can wiggle him in, but I don't know. Like, yeah, just Jordan Clark. I'm not there just right now because I feel like he's not going to stay at 560 forever. I feel like he's got it in him to drop to at least 500, and then I could probably maybe jump up to him.
He'll also probably be 600 at some point. He's one of those. He'll touch 500 and he'll touch 600 for me. He'll touch both in the year.
It's a good shout. I mean, look, yeah, you're right. You do have to look at him if Ryan is out. That is very true. But that depends on everything. I mean, we could talk about this a little bit further on when we get to the rucks. But Fremantle and playing people in the right position does not go hand in hand. But we'll get to that.
I am saving rucks for last, so we're going to move on to the forwards. Quickly though, do we just want to touch on the younger man himself? Should every single team signed up to Supercoach have this bloke?
I mean, if you don't have him right now, I question why you don't. I think he's at 80, so that only means 20%. And I dare say maybe the 20% of people that don't have him are just bond accounts, or just guys that have autofilled.
But I think even the autofill puts him in, because the autofill's it's a sure thing. The 20% I need. You think so? I need the theory, but he's getting picked up in draft leagues by the 4th, 5th round. So how is he not in your classic at 119?
That's insane. That's insane to me. I think I will say this, and I do think at 119, you're mad if you don't. But I do think the hype around him is a little too high.
Oh yeah.
To take him that high in a draft, I think that's insane.
Yeah,
insanity.
There's a little bit of silliness around that. But yeah.
Yeah, but we'll see how he goes in his first couple of games. For me, he hasn't done himself any favors with attention. Like, he's now going to get attention straight away. So we'll be interested to see if he can deal with that. But yeah, I think everybody's got him in their side, surely.
Well, there you go. I've gone a bit of mid-price madness, and you've gone a bit of guns and rookies on field there. We're going to move to our forwards. Let's get rid of that, and let's get our forwards. And Boschke. Now, I don't think F1 is going to surprise anyone. I think, again, it's a funny thing. We'll quickly touch on Shiesel. I didn't have him for the first 2 weeks, and I kind of just gave myself a bit of a slap and said, stop being silly, mate. He's F1. He's going to finish it.
We were talking about it, and I had him, and you were like, oh, I'm not sold, like, Clarko, rah. And I was like, I think you're just mad if you don't have him. You came in.
I did an exercise where I was like, rank F1 to F6, and he was a clear F1. I was like, well, then why aren't I starting him? So,
he's so much better than that. So if you look at the average too, like I think he's like 10 or 15 points in front of the second. Yeah. So like you just got to take it.
DDP as well, not forward. Like there is minimal reason not to have him. Like minimal. Yeah. The only reason I'll go okay is if you went to me, well, Clarko can't stop moving people around. Fair, he cannot stop moving people around. You might tune on a Sunday Arvo and Sheasel's in the forward pocket. That's possible.
Yeah.
Right?
It is true.
And you'll throw shit at your TV.
And that happened at some stage last year. That did happen.
Yeah. It is infuriating. But anyway, there's not much to say. I think he's one of the ones overall that is a must as well for an expensive player, the 580. Like you said, you've done the shift off the track. You've brought Isaiah Pickett back. What did you do that this week, or did you do that a couple of weeks ago?
No, I've never taken Cozzy yet.
You've never taken him out, right?
No, okay, no. So Cozzy's always been there for me. I just think that Melbourne doesn't have a genuine superstar. He's the only genuine superstar like going forward at the ground, right?
Yeah.
So, and it was against I can't remember. I think it was against Port or North. No, that's right. It was against
North. Yeah.
And he scored 5 goals and they had like 20 touch, and it was like a fucking walk in the park for him. And he doesn't have any buys after the opening round, so he's going to be playing every game. So I just think at that price, and I just wanted to go a little bit different to Petrarca initially. That's why I went Pickett. Plus, I've always been a Cozzy fan. I do like Pickett. I think he's a good player. I had him last year in my squad. I think he's a little bit of a pod. I had Petrarca in the middle where LDU was. That's where I had him. But then over the last couple of days, I jumped off it. I don't like the percentage, but I think he's obviously a great player to have in your side. Flanders, that's a walk-in. Everybody has Flanders. I mean, this guy is not going to stay at that price too quickly. Like, he's going to be jumping into 500s, I think, pretty easily for St Kilda. And then the bottom three this is different because I jumped off Marshall, but then he's back because He's playing the defense, and he's actually getting a fair few touches. So I think to have in the forward line at 147,000, as provided he stays injury free, is a good niche pick. Obviously, Philippou, everybody's on because again, if he stays injury free, he's a gun. But then you and I have different picks down here. So I've gone Robertson. I think Robertson's probably on your bench.
Yeah, he is.
And then you've gone Ugo Hagen, which I started off with, but I jumped off. But then McCarthy, mate, you brought him in, even though he's locked down. Yeah. You brought him in.
Well, he's been in and out 3 times this week. I'll get to McCarthy shortly, but yeah, the Ugle, my backup plan is Marshall. We get a free look at Ugle. If Ugle
we get a free look at McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly, McCarthy as well. But if Ugle scores 30, I might just be like, I'm moving. And Todd Marshall, I'm looking at. I might bring Todd Marshall in. I might find a way to get him in anyway before the lockout round 1.
He's not a player that like you're desperate. You have to get. That's a price you can wiggle in somehow. But
the link McCarthy, I switched. So I didn't like him playing defense. The Pracky match was swirly because we had a lot, but he was back forward, and like he is a very good forward.
Yeah,
he will score more.
How did Brisbane fit in all these forwards, man? Like they've got Lohman, you got Rayner, you got Bailey, you got Cameron, you got how do you fit them all in?
Well, that's the thing. Rayner didn't play, right? I think Lohman played. Rayner didn't play, but Allen didn't play either. So even though he's not small, that's another forward. So there's 2 forwards they're walking in round 1 and they start. They're not starting on the bench. Rayner and Allen start in the forward 6. So then, he's got to find a way in next to Lohman, Cameron, Bailey, Morris, Gallup. It is tricky. So he's just he's better than 170 for me. He's just if he's not playing the lockdown defense, I still think he finds his way to 70 most weeks. And I think 70 will just be his average. But that means he'll make me 150K. So I'm at the moment more confident he averages 70 than Kitty.
Ooh, BP. That's up there.
It's just because Kitty will not get the roll over Zorko if Zorko doesn't stop. He will not get the roll over Zorko.
Adam's put in the chat, Mason Cox lock if Darcy's not named round 1.
Don't get me started.
Highest hit out to advantage percentage in the AFL last year. Yeah, there's a little reason to why that's the case because he played like 2 games. These new rules suit him to a T. Kill it in the weekend, he'll make 100K, 50 quid. You got to remember, I'm a massive Collingwood fan, mate, so I know Mason Cox to a T. And I would advise strongly for people not to go to Mason.
What's his price? What is it? I haven't even looked at it.
It's like 260. It's cheap. It's very cheap, but no.
He's a mongrel.
You know what the thing is?
Out of principle. Fuck him.
The other thing is with Mason, right, is that he's actually not very good in a ruck contest. It's just because he's so tall. But he'll win the centers, very easily. Yeah.
He'll win the centers.
He gets bodied very easy. So around the ground, he's going to struggle. Like you talk about the game on the weekend. Yeah, who did he play against? McAndrew, which is like a rookie. So once he goes up against these big boys, I don't think he's going to be getting very high scores. +2. It's Fremantle, and you cannot trust their ruck situation because the guy that's controlling it is an idiot. He's a numpty. You have the best ruckman, like athletic ruckman in the competition. You do. It's Jackson. That by far. Just play him in the ruck. And these new rules suit Jackson the most out of any ruckman. It's Jackson that gets suited the most. And you're going to put Mason Cox there, a delisted pie. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah, they should.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I can't. I've given up trying to understand. Like I said, 17 other teams would give Fremantle a treasure chest for Jackson to play him at number 1 ruck. He has Jackson, and he won't play him.
Cameron, and I'll give up Cameron for Jackson.
Oh yeah,
I don't think Cameron's a bad player.
Grabelski, 2-time premier.
Oh mate, you'd be throwing it straight away.
Nah, I'll keep Grabelski, mate. But like I said, he's the only bloke in the league that wouldn't play Jackson ruck, and he has them. It's sickening to think about. Not even just super. Just football. I don't want to turn on Fremantle and see Cox in the ruck and that unicorn midfield or forward. I don't want to see it. The unicorn. Put him in the ruck.
I actually want to know his general reasoning for it. I want to know why he thinks in his mind, okay, Jackson has to play somewhere else other than ruck. Like, what is his reasoning? I understand at Melbourne, they did the 2 ruck thing and he was predominantly forward. It's the reason he left Melbourne, because he wanted to be a sole ruckman.
Yeah.
And you're still not giving it to him. It boggles my brain. I don't understand it.
It's just, and we haven't done our rucks yet, but that is one reason why I think you can't go to Jackson quickly, is just because you cannot trust this bloke.
Reese is like, touch Coxie and Supercoach with a 10-foot pole. Mate, I'm not about it. I've seen so much of Mason Cox in my life. I know how he works, and that's not someone that you want to rely on. I mean, look, if you...
He'd have to be one. He'd have to be 119. If he was 119, he's a sniff to get into your side.
That's what I mean. Like, the thing is, yes, he's going to play, but if you want to take that R2 route of like being super cheap, you just put McAndrew there.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. Yeah, even then, he still wouldn't get in. He'd have to be 99, and he's still in Straff. We got derailed there with the bloody Mason Cox and the unicorn Jackson himself, but I think we touched on them all anyway. We touched on Philippou quickly. Another one almost everyone should have. Robertson, I think, is very fieldable, and I could save money fielding him. He will be scoring fieldable scores, I think, on my bench, which will frustrate me.
Yeah.
He could be scoring 90s on my bench, which is going to annoy me.
I think if he's playing midfield, he's 75 plus easily, and that's hard to find in forwards, in my opinion. Yeah. I think that forwards is the hardest role, the hardest section of the ground to find reliable, consistent points. Because sometimes full forwards go missing, they don't touch it a lot. Man, we had Darcy last year, you and I. Man, he dropped 50s sometimes, you know? Yeah. So, like, having full forwards is a gamble, in my opinion. And so I think if you can find a player, he's probably going to end up getting a DDP. And if he's playing midfield around Harley Reid, even if he's just floating into the midfield and getting minutes in there, he's going to be getting way more points than 119. So, like, you know what I mean? At that price, he can go in there. He'll be fine. I don't think there's another player at like 100. I know McCarthy's a good pick, but I don't think there's another player. I had Latrell for a little bit. I'll touch on that. I did have Latrell Pickett. That's probably the other Pickett you're thinking about, because I did have him and then I've taken him out. I just don't think... I think Latrell is going to be more of a highlight reel, and I think that he'll excite you. I just don't think he's going to score well in Super, and so that's why I put Robertson back in. That was my thought process. I think and I've got Lombard on the bench, which is everybody should have Lombard, and I've got Doverston, because I think Doverston's actually pretty neat.
Yeah, look, I need to try and get Doverston in my bench. I don't have him currently. It's funny, that 130k just keeps stumping me, but I think he needs to go in. We've also slightly been labelled stooges because we called old mate Enoughy for not playing Jackson ruck, but that is a fair opinion, I think. He's given you a bit of a spray for the old Tom McCarthy, LDU and Roberts placement, but I think they're good picks as well. But so I guess we're both on the stooge. But anyway,
you can't be a stooge if you have those picks just because I don't like Mason Cox.
Mason Cox.
This is the first person I've seen defend Mason Cox that isn't a Bulldogs fan.
But everyone's got their fans, you know. That's where it is. But Robertson, I think, does need to find his way on field. I think I'll have to find his way on field. It could just be Ugle out, Robertson on, and then I'll go all the way down to Doverston, maybe. If Ugle scores a 30, if he drops 4 goals in round 1, I'm keeping him.
Oh, look, he definitely has the potential. You got to remember too, opening round might not be the game that you jump off him, because his first round 1, they're playing the Weagles. So
it might be red hot.
There's potential he can kick 7.
So we'll slide it. We'll slide straight into the rucks. Mark Coleman might get 10. Old Benny King.
That's true.
If we slide into the rucks now, surprisingly, we both are still on the Sherry Man.
Yeah, look, just for now, I can't shake it. I just can't shake it. I shouldn't be. He hasn't done anything really to to justify it. Like, it's not like he's killed the preseason. If anything, he's probably looked the worst. Like in terms of the big ruckmans in the game. I don't think he's transferred well. It's just that I think he's got credit in the bank with what he can do around the ground, and he's got a very, very kind, and I mean very kind.
That's the biggest thing.
The first like 5-6 rounds, he is playing absolute dunces in the ruck. I mean dunces. Like he'll push them over. So that's my only reason I still have him. But like if he gets 2 rounds in and these scores aren't that it, then you just dip because his value is still really high, right? So you won't lose anything. You could probably, to be honest, and I think you think the same here. If Sherry's not it, I'm jumping the Grundy. But again, we'll see how that goes. I did have TDK for a long time, but this week I just got I don't know why you had it with Josh, I had it with TDK. I just got the wobblies with him, and English is so reliable. I think English will be fine. But
it's funny because TDK had a good hit out too.
He did. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't know. I just got the fucking. Yeah, I just didn't like it. And English is with Bont and Sydney and the Gold Coast. So that week, that bye is horrible for me. So that's pretty much a loss. But yeah, I'm willing to trial with English. And again, I get a look at him. So if he's not that great, if he struggles or if he has a bad game, then I'll probably just move straight back to TDK. So for me, that's a no risk situation. Sherry's a risk, but because he's so high, it's worth taking the punt. I've seen a lot of people do this. They're going McAndrew straight to ruck 2. Now, I'm not about that yet. I can understand it. I just don't know if I can do that. I still think the best rucks in the game are worth having, but a lot of people don't see it that way, and they're willing to take the risk.
Yeah. See, the rucks, the flex we don't have here, but I think we both have McAndrew and flex, don't we?
Yes.
So I think that's where you want McAndrew. Also, R3 is not a bad choice either. I think if you want to have the only issue is if he does what Robertson does, which I tip Robertson do, is the on-field scores, you'll get frustrated. If McAndrew's scoring 90s and R3, it will be a little frustrating, especially if your flex is scoring 70s. So you want him there. Bolchino's came back at us, doesn't reckon Robertson will make the field round 1. I think he definitely will. Graham and Kelly to come back.
I think he makes the field. Graham...
CBAs might go down. I don't think he might go down.
Graham's still injured. Is Graham tipped to come back round 1, is he? Because the last I saw he was still injured. And Kelly was dross.
I think they need
a large...
I think if Weagle...
Kelly had a little patch last year. He had a little purple patch where it was like a couple games where he found some form, but I don't think he's the Tim Kelly that they bought him at. You know what I mean, from Geelong.
As just a football fan, not Supercoach fan, Tim Kelly's one of the biggest letdowns. Is not the word I'm looking for. The biggest, like, as a football fan, he was unbelievable to watch at Geelong.
Oh, Geelong, he was amazing. Like,
he was magic. And then something just went a bit awry at West Coast, and you could even see it. Just didn't look the same when he was playing.
I don't know if he's just gone home and like he's comfortable and he knows he plays every week at West Coast, or he has played it every week at West Coast. And that's why he's just not pushing it. I don't know. Maybe he was pushed by excellence at Geelong because that's what they are.
Yeah.
And then when he's gone to West Coast, it's not really the same. I don't know. I don't know why he's dropped off, but he was a gun. An absolute gun. But I just don't think he can get back to those. But maybe minutes will be a little bit different. But again, like I was saying, in the forward role, in that forward line, there's not many options at that price that you know are going to play majority of the game. It's very hard to find that.
Yeah. Well, it is going to be interesting when but I think Weagles need to go past Kelly. They should be playing Robertson, Dersma. Like, Reed will be in the mid. Lock him into the mid. Weagles, if they want to start moving forward, they have to go past Kelly and Yo. As great a servant as Yo has been. Unbelievable servant. Find a role for Yo. So he's in the team. We've got 5 on the bench. Find a role for Yo. But these boys got to be the Jets. They got to be your Jets.
Well, their injury history, doesn't serve them. And like you said, they're only getting older, and they have been guns, obviously premiership winner for Yo. But yeah, like I don't know if they want to bleed in the youth a little bit more. I mean, there's obviously reasons why they sign these players, right? Yeah. They wouldn't have signed these players if they didn't want to have them in their squad.
No, yeah, that's
so
right.
I'm willing to take the punt on it, and if it doesn't work, then obviously you jump across to somebody else that is playing.
Before we get back to our rucks, to talk about when Yo is off managed minutes, I don't think Yo's in that time of his career that he'll ever be off managed minutes. I think till Yo retires now, he will always have managed minutes. He has that injury profile, and he's an older man now. He'll be 33, nearly, Yo? 33?
That's
They signed him from Brisbane when he was 25, I'm sure, and that was a hot minute ago.
Yeah, he's
maybe 24.
He's been around the game. He's 32.
32. Okay.
So he's turning 33. So he'll be 33 this year.
Yeah, so as an injury prone.
So injury prone best years are past him at 33. It's hard. Like if you're well conditioned at 33, then awesome. Like you look at Pendlebury and Sidebottom. They're very, very rarely injured, those guys, and that's why they've been able to continue to do what they do. But when you're really injury prone at 33, I don't think you're a shoo-in.
Well, nice little tangent there on a little bit of advice for the Weagles. But I mean, I'm actually hot on the Weagles before we move. I think they're going to have a decent year. I've tipped them for 7 wins. Not people on my bandwagon. I think Weagles drop 7. They looked horrendous in that pracky, but I think
they did. They looked disgusting. They didn't give me any confidence.
They looked terrible, but I'm on the Weagles for 7. Back to it. We've touched on shit.
Them and North. They just showed me bottom 2 again.
Yeah, we touched on Sherry. I've been rattled that I don't get my free look at Sherry now. That has absolutely rattled me. Still, I'm holding on to my backup is English. So how you're talking about who you're going to flick to, if Sherry's dropping even flat hundreds and English is dropping 130s, I'm going to English after 2 rounds from Sherry.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. I said this in my video when I made it about Sherry in particular, and the reason why you probably should go him is because he's such a high amount that if you can afford him based on his averages, you should just do it, because if it doesn't work out, you just dip off it. But you know what I mean? Because with Max Gawn doesn't have the run that Sherry has. Sherry has an easier run, so he should, accumulate those points. But if the game doesn't transfer for him, then you just trade off him and you don't lose anything.
See, I think there's a world that even after all this bracket, he drops 170, in round 1. And I was like, if he does that and I hopped off him, I'll be fuming. Because then you can't get him back. It's harder to get him back. Yeah. It is much easier to jump off. So
this is what I said. It's so much easier to jump off Sherry than get him. So and I remembered last year, particularly going into the finals, I didn't have him, and I know I had a different combo, and it did me well, but he ultimately was the player that I just needed and I couldn't get. Yeah. So I'm not making that same mistake this time. I'll have him in. If it doesn't work, I dip off him. But yeah, you just got to try. And I didn't want him to play against Port, play against Vincentini or even Sweet's hardly played a lick, and just absolutely ruin. And then I'm pissed off that I don't have him, So that's why I have him.
Also, if you have him, so the backup for me is English, right? But again, if Grundy is a must not pass up, you can go Sherry to Grundy. So he is my doorway to wherever I need to go if I keep him. So if it goes wrong, I go Grundy or English, because one of those 3's hitting. We're not going to be at round 2 and all those 3 are averaging 100. One of them will be averaging 140. It's just which one.
You got to remember, and even you got to throw the big moose up in there too. One of them's going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And who it's going to be, I don't know. That's too early to call. But these ruckmen, they're not going to be everyone's saying, oh, the ruck rules are changed, and that's it. They're finished. They'll figure it out. It might take them a game or 2, but they'll figure it out. And once they figure out their way, they'll be dominant, just like they were last time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I like TDK. I do especially because of that value that opens the door for a few things.
The price is
and
too good.
If I take English out and I put TDK back in, I could probably wiggle some more. I could get some of that. I could potentially move up to Tanner Bruin in the midfield, but like, yeah, I don't know. I just really like English, and I think he's a gun.
And don't like
I think
as much as I am red hot on 2K, don't get twisted. It was a split with Marshall. It was people are saying maybe slightly heavier than 70-30 split, but he still dropped a ton. So I just think maybe keeping him as fresh as possible for 65% ruck will be better than tearing him down with 80%, maybe. But
yeah.
And he can dob a goal if he goes forward, but I think the split, he might have been going off. But who knows what happens once we're in the real, again, correct me, St Kilda opening run?
Yeah.
So with free look. So we've got a free look. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll be a good look against Darcy Cameron. He's serviceable, a very serviceable ruckman. Doesn't make it easy for anyone.
No.
So we'll find out a lot in that one. So...
Yeah, if TDK comes out opening round drops 100, I might go down to him because I can maybe make that. But I just need to see what English does, because if English does the same, I'm willing to keep him. But it's more Sherry for me. I need to see what he's doing.
Old Bolchino hasn't lied. It's funny. He's lying me here with the Lawson Humphries has a role everyone thinks Bruin has. Now, as we looked in my team, I actually have both of them. Is it funny that I kind of forgot they were both in the same team? Until like I know they both play for Geelong, but in my theory of my team,
when you just picked them, yeah.
In my theory in my team, I didn't put them together. So you have spanned me, Bolchino, with that one. But yeah, I think we've touched everything. Like we said, our flex is McAndrews. We've gone the 3 rucks. That old chestnut. No, well, who's your ruck in your bench then? Who's your R3 if you've gone same with me, McAndrew, to...
So I'm doing what we did last year where you're just having the ruck that doesn't play. And so I've got Kalani White.
So I've actually... Do Melbourne have many Sundays this year?
Well, that's another thing. I haven't checked that, but...
You would think so.
I just know this guy ain't playing. So that's why he's there.
So I've actually just put Reedy there just to find out. Is he just going to score 50s? If he does, he'll still make me 80k and they'll buzz him off. But
there is that. That's why I did think of that, and I can put him there because I still have enough money to put him there. But I wasn't impressed. Yeah. But then again, if at 119, if you're doing 50s, that's fine because you'll make money. Then you can go and then you flick you and go down, and you've made cash. So that is a good. Yeah, that's probably a smart thing to do.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not doing that, I'm going to a 99k that I know is heavy Sundays, so I'm looping. That's the only other reason.
So that's it. That's why I have him. I didn't check Melbourne's schedule, but I just presumed. But who knows? Melbourne's strange because they will be past here, no doubt about it. They'll be crap.
Transition year, heavy transition.
Because they're Melbourne. They'll get games in weird slots where they'll somehow get a Friday night or fucking something like that. Like I even saw that my Jack was injured for a little bit. So
right.
I don't know. Like they're just gonna not have anybody up front. I mean, they'll have Van Ruin and Fridge, but that's it.
Yeah. Old Bolchino's come in and said,
Solstrip, is it a Solstrip? Is it? He's 119, I think. I could be wrong.
He's not 119, is he?
Someone is. He might not be 119.
Tolstrom played a few. I'd be very surprised. He'd probably 150.
Let me have a look.
Just while you have a look at that, he'll. Bolchino has said Kalani White is actually second for best loop, but Barnett is third. Who is Barnett? Who does Barnett play for? Best for the looping.
About Barnett.
Most Sunday Barnett.
Solstrip is 180.
Well, actually, I like. He's good on the eye. He passed the eye test, but then you look at him, he scores 32s, and you're like, okay. Well, he's one of those. There's those rookies, man, that you watch and go, he's red hot, and then he's dropped to 34. You're like, okay. Well,
yeah, his highest score last year was 64.
Yeah. What was his average? 47.
Yeah, it wasn't good. His lowest he scored was 8.
Yeah, look, and he probably played all day. That's right. Did you hear about quickly before we sign off Bo Allen in his pracky? Did you see what he scored? No. I mean, I haven't fact checked this, but apparently it was -12. And
Jesus, did he give a ball away or something and then get injured and go?
He did a negative last year. I'm sure he did a negative last year in a game.
Yeah, I do remember someone doing a negative.
But I think that was harsh because I think he got subbed on for 10 minutes and gave away a free kick and a clanger. So you're -8 off the rip. So that's a harsh one, right?
It's hard to recover. Yeah. It's hard to make up ground.
Clangers just remind me, right? On the was it Roberts? I think it was Roberts. What did he score? I know he had a great game, but apparently he had 8 clangers, which is -30. So
geez, that's interesting.
If he didn't, but it's interesting because I'm pretty sure he scored 95. So if he didn't butcher the ball, there was a 120.
So he scored. I've got it right up in front of me.
Is it Roberts?
He scored 100. He scored 106.
Yeah, so it's close to a 140 without the clangers. You're never going perfect. You're always going to have a clanger or two in there. But
yeah. So he had 5 turnovers, and then let's have a look at his clangers. And then here should be where's his clangers?
Well, I hope it was him.
Hell, he was at 16 centre bounce attendances.
No, yeah, he was one of the highest. He was one of the highest in the mids.
Rebound 50s 8. Well, it doesn't tell you the clangers in this.
Do you know who was number 1 centre bounce attendances?
For Essendon?
Old Darcy Parish, mate. He's made it.
Well, mate, he's straight back in. I want to touch on this one. Windhager, 41 disposals in that game. Yeah, and a lot of people have him in their side. Smoky.
Well, now I'm hearing that he has halfback, but there's that many halfbacks rolling around Saints. It's just... Windhager, I like Windhager. I do. I rate Windhager as a player. But I don't know. It's a very, very funny spot to... I do think there's better. He's at that price where I'm just there's options.
It's awkward. It's an awkward price. That 400, 450 realm, you're just better off going to the 500. You know what I mean? You're just better off going to the 500. The 400s are sometimes they'll get you high, but then majority of the time they're going to let you down.
Yeah. But
only 470,000 player I want is Zach Bailey, but I can't get it.
The old Bales, mate. Another free look. If he hits 130 on opening round, I think everyone's going to get him.
At that price, yeah. I'll get him. I'll find a way.
If he drops 130, it's going to happen. But there we go. That's the before. Literally, we're 40. What are we 44 hours out from season opening. Again, the trades won't close.
Yeah, that's it. The trades won't close. Just before we round it up, should we do a quick tip? Only 2 days out. Let's run through them. We'll see who you got and who I got.
Well, who's winning? Who's winning opening round?
So, first game. So, Swans v Carlton.
You know what's... I thought about this today. It'd just be typical Carlton to win this one. Swans have all the hype, man. They should... And they probably should, but it'd just be that typical Carlton. They win this and they'll lose the next week. Honestly, it'd just be...
I tell you what.
They'll get up to it for Curnow. They'll get up for it because of the Curnow.
Carlton could beat them for one reason only. Is that I'm still not sold on Sydney's defence. I don't think it's great. I think their halfbacks are great. They don't have a lot of key defenders, man.
It's their weakest spot. Their weakest spot is their defence. Yeah. But then again, Carlton's offence ain't the strongest.
No, it's not. It's Harry Mackay, and it's Harry Mackay. Let's say less about Harry Mackay.
And Motlop's gone all year. Yeah, no, I'll go Sydney. Actually, I can't go Carlton.
They did replace. They put Hayward and Ainsworth, so that is upgrades.
Good signings. Good signings.
They are good signings. And Fiorini's in there too, isn't he? Oh no, it's not Fiorini. Florence in there. It's 2 ex-Sydney players.
Yeah,
maybe you never know.
They'll be up for it.
2 ex-Sydney players. They could be up for it. I'm still going Swans.
Yeah, look, I'm going to have to go Swans after I thought about it.
Yeah.
It'd just be typical game, Carlton.
Suns v Cats.
I think Suns will beat the brakes off the Cats.
Yep, I think the Suns win. I don't think Geelong
40 plus.
I think Geelong
40 plus.
In fact, I think Geelong are in for a bad year. That's my personal opinion.
40 plus on the Suns for me. Ugle will,
GWS.
Ben King will kick 10. Start off.
Take Cosy Pickett round one, mate. He's in the side. No dramas there. Giants v Hawks.
Hawks. Giants are bashed. They're bashed. I've gone from them getting Premier to not making the 10. They're rattled, mate.
Do you know what it is? And it's not even like, you've lost some squad players. No, you've lost your A graders.
Yeah. Apparently Callahan's back already. Which
Callahan's back too.
He has to be underdone.
You know what the only thing is though? The only thing, Hawthorn really don't have a great midfield. They don't. No. They got Jai Newcomb. This is why they want to merit.
Because they let go of.
Yeah, he did.
I said to Tao, I don't want to see a dump all year. Like, I'm fine with that, but then just throw out the dump. That is the textbook that you taught us to understand is a dump. That's what you...
Yeah.
And now it's thrown out. Well, just throw the rule out. There's dumps.
Do you know what's funny? That almost made me get $100 and put him on the Brownlow. That's what it smelled like to me. I was like... Honestly, that's what it smelled like. I was like, this smells so obvious to me that they're going to... like. There's something going on that he has to be a high count for the Brownlow. Because, like, why? Why was he not?
That's interesting.
I'm not saying that I want it to happen because I don't like that rule. I think it's annoying, and I think it was brought in obviously to save players up. But like this rule, all last year we saw it, and then like it's not even opening round, and they have gone back on what they do every single year.
It's a funny thing to think about. Would you be ineligible if you got suspended in a practice match that went into the season?
Yes.
Would you?
Yes, because he's been suspended, so it means as long as if he misses one game of the general season due to a suspension, he's ineligible.
I mean, I'll go on record. I don't think Newcomb will be in the top bunch.
No, I don't either. But I just think that
I like him. I like him, but I don't think he's going to poll. I think Hawthorn is that you'll have 8 players on 10 votes, 8 players on 15. Like it'll be the biggest shared pie on the planet.
Their midfield for me is weak though. That's what I'm saying about. I'm actually tipping Giants, and I tipped Giants because even before I knew Callahan was back, only because. Like the Hawks midfield, it's just Newcomb. They got Nash and Ward, big deal. They let go to Warple, who's a good player, but like it's one of their. Yeah. This is why they want to merit. This is why they went all in for merit because they don't have another good midfielder other than Newcomb.
They need that superstar.
They do. They need a superstar. So I'm going Giants, but I could also see Giants getting smashed by 50. Lions versus Dogs.
We always lose round one. It'll be Dogs. We always lose round one every year.
I'm taking.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised if Lions win. Funny thing is, Dogs are our bogey too. They beat us all the time.
They are your bogey
all the time.
They do.
They beat us all the time.
What? I don't know why, but their game transfers best that I've ever seen to the Gabba than any other team.
They beat us at the Gabba all the time.
All the time. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they're fast and the way they rebound off half back, but they generate so many scores. Look, I can understand why you would pick the Dogs. It is a dangerous game for Brisbane, particularly given the fact you've got to blend in all your new signings. And I don't know. I just think Brisbane at home. I'm more comfortable there. And then the final game is Saints versus Collingwood, and I'm tipping the Saints.
Yeah, I'll go the Saints too. On odds, that's almost a dead even, which is surprising.
Well, when I did my punts, Saints for $2.10. So, I jumped on them for that, but I think it's obviously a lot of people are and they're moving down. And then it's what? It's not even the fact that I think the Saints are going to be so great this year because I don't. I think they'll be better, but I don't think they're going to be astronomically better. It's just that we don't have Moore and Howe. And then here's the kicker, right? Here's the kicker. We don't have Moore. We don't have Howe. Or we don't have McInnes. So there's 3 tools gone. You know who the only tool is down back? Frampton.
Oh.
How are you stopping Marshall? How are you stopping Wood? How are you stopping Even Owens will get up there. I just don't think we'll be tall
It'll be
enough. I think
who's the bloke? Yeah, Max Hall's going to kick 5.
Yeah, I just think
I'll
that
get
we're. And you know, I'm not going to get too carried away with it because opening round last year, GWS beat us by 50, and then everyone said we were too old, too slow, we were going to be in trouble, and then we went 14-2.
Yeah.
So we were fine, and I actually think we will be fine. I just think we might see a little bit of what we saw last year with Collingwood, where we'll probably run out of steam again. I think we'll be a team that actually is okay for like a third of the year, but then because of our age, we'll probably blow a gasket. But I don't think, even if Saints beat us, I don't think we'll be in trouble.
And you won't tag Naz, so he'll go gangbusters, and then everyone will be red hot. But that's just how it is.
Yeah, it is. But that means that Sinclair should go gangbusters too, because no one's going to run.
Yeah. But it also means that at the free look, we might be able to keep our boy Sinclair the pod. He is. He's not 30% isn't a pod, but it's much more of a pod than the Naz. I think Naz will go off enough where people don't dive off him. And
I think getting 4 goals and kicking 30 and having 30 touches the other day, definitely people did jump off that.
I'm telling you, pin it here. I will get Naz at 520k. I promise you.
Yeah, I said it that like he'll just be, people will panic with Naz because he's going to have a couple bad weeks. And he'll get traded out. He'll
get tagged. He will drop a 60, and he might drop back-to-back 60s. And we're all going to get him at 520. Because even though he drops a bad game, if he hits 520, I'm getting him in.
Of course I am.
Everyone should. But yeah, and then you'll be fuming that you paid up. But that's just an opinion.
Bontempelli dropped down to, it wasn't last season, but the season before, Bontempelli dropped to like 580 was his baseline. And it's Bontempelli. And he's the best player in Supercoach in the last 3 years. So if you don't think that you can get Naz for cheaper than Bontempelli, then you're a fool.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll leave it there. There's our 2 team reveals. But 40 hours out from opening round, trades don't close. So they could be incredibly different next week. But we'll probably...
Yeah, they probably will be.
We'll
do a video on that.
We'll be out... Oh, there won't be rankings in that. But anyway, we'll do our normal segments next week. But anyway, thank you for everyone for tuning in. And
cheers for the comments, boys.
We'll see you
next time. Appreciate it.
Oh, GG's.
All right. Adios.
Peace.